jignasa kartavya, that jignasa must be done or accomplished. So desire to know must be accomplished, a desire must be accomplished, and knowledge must be accomplished. None of them are subject to being accomplished because none of them is kruti sadhyatvam. And therefore, even if you add that pada, kartavya, asado brahma jignasa kartavya, in order to have the samanarthatvam, in order to relate the sutra with that kartavya vakya, you just add a word kartavya to brahma jignasa, so you may have grammatical satisfaction that you added an expression that converts the sutra into an instruction. But this kartavya cannot go with jignasa because jignasa has two elements, jnana and ichcha. None of them is kruti sadhyam, and therefore this jignasa kartavya is written irrelevant, incongruent. Nanu kartavyatvam kruti sadhyatvam. You think that Vedanta is a hard task, at every moment there are fellows who are always there before you, with questions. If you are not clear, they'll throw you out within a moment, And so, tremendous clarity. Of course, we learn from them, from their clarity also, but the idea is, tasacha jnanechchayoho. When they ask you questions, then you start thinking, scratching your head, and then come up with an answer. Tasacha jnanechchayoho kruti asadhyatvena kartavyattvasya ananvayat. So, even though you say Brahma Jignasa Kartavya, there cannot be Anvaya. Anvaya means there is that connection is not there between Brahma Jignasa and Kartavya. Although grammatically the sentence is right. But that grammatical is not the only thing. There must be Anvaya. Meaning, when there is a sentence, then those words must have a proper relationship with one another. Otherwise, there may be grammatically correct sentence, but then sentence will not make a sense. May you sprinkle with fire. Suppose, no, fire cannot be sprinkled. So grammatically that sentence may be right, but then there is no anvaya between sprinkling and fire, because fire is not available for sprinkling. Similarly, there is no anvaya or connection between jignasa, brahma jignasa and kartavya, because neither jnanam nor ichcha have sadhyatvam. So kartavyatvasya ananvayat. Kartavya padam kathamadhya hartavyam. So when jignasa cannot be connected, kartavya cannot be associated with jignasa, how do you add this brahma jignasa kartavya? How this kartavya pada is added? Adhya hartavyam. Ataha shruti rupa mula pramana rahitattvena. Therefore again problem. Even if you add brahma jignasa kartavya, since kartavya cannot be related with brahma jignasa, therefore you cannot convert this sutra into an instruction. So you aimed at, by adding the pada kartavya, you hoped to convert the sutra also into an instruction and say that this sutra now properly relates to the Shruti Vakya Shrotavya, which is an instruction. But your attempt is unsuccessful because even though grammatically you added a word kartavya to make this sutra look like an instruction, in fact kartavya cannot be properly related to jignasa, and therefore this is not an instruction, therefore this is not related to Shruti, and therefore it is not pramanam. Only Upanishad is pramanam. And if you can properly show that the sutra also has the same meaning as the Upanishad Vakya, then alone sutra also becomes pramanam, otherwise not. Shruti mula pramana rahitattvena. So this does not have a sanction of the Shruti, which is pramanam. Sutram apramanam. And therefore, sutra is what? Apramana, meaning it is not a valid means of knowledge. And then, to put it aside, he is just ready to, reject it. Here is a Purva Pakshi who is at every step ready to reject what you are saying. Sutram apramanam iti ashanka, iti ashankam sangrahena udghatya pariharate. In very brief, because Bhashyakara is going to discuss this, here the Tika Ratna Prabhakara brings up that ashanka or this question in a very brief sense, without really so much as stating it. But then udghatya pariharate. Briefly he mentions it and then refutes also the question that are brought up tatra. Says Ratna Prabha, tatra prakriti pratyarthayoho jnanechchayoho kartavyatva ananvayad prakritya phalibhutam jnanam ajahal lakshanaya uchyate pratyayena ichha sadhya vicharaha jahal lakshanaya. So tatra, tatra means what? Sutre adhyahare avashya kartavyatve sati ityartha. In as much as we must add this word kartavya in this particular sutra. Now that we have to add this in order to also convert it into an instruction, then something more has to be done also. We must find anvaya, or we must find a concurrence between Brahma Jignasa and Kartavya. Then word Brahma Jignasa must be understood in a different way. So tatra prakriti pratyayarthayoho jnanechchayoho. We know very well that word Jignasa is derived from the root Jna, and add san pratyaya. Then what happens? That is what we call abhyasa or duplication. So Jna Jna and Jignan, and san pratyaya becomes Jignas. From that the name is made Jignasa. So in this word Jignasa, the root that is contained is Jna, and the pratyaya that is called prakriti, and pratyaya, the suffix that is added, is called san. What does that san prefix do? Always in the sense of desire. So moktam ichcha mumuksha. Desire to be liberated is called mumuksha. Desire to eat is called bubhuksha. Bhuktam ichcha bubhuksha. So bodhum ichcha bubhutsa. So thus, this is very common. San pratyaya is added, it gives a sense of desire. Which is a beautiful thing, isn't it? So that desire to know is accomplished by san pratyaya, jignasa. You need not write so long, desire to know. Just write jignasa. So prakriti pratyarthayo jnanechchayo. That prakriti is jnanam, jnarut. Pratyartha is what? Ichcha. Kartavyatva ananvaya. This is the Purva-paksha part. Since jnana and ichcha, both of them do not have concurrence with the kartavya, because they are not kruti sadhya. Prakritya phalibhutam jnanam. What is prakriti? Jnana. So that jnana is what? Knowledge. Phalibhutam jnanam ajahal lakshanaya uchyate. That knowledge must be understood as aparoksha jnanam. Not just paroksha jnanam, but aparoksha jnanam. So knowledge is qualified as phalibhutam jnanam or aparoksha jnanam. So jnanam is ajahal lakshanaya. Ajahal lakshana, jahal lakshana. What is jahal lakshana? Lakshana is shakya sambandhini lakshana. So a meaning that is related. Sometimes you say make a statement, but then the meaning of the statement, if it doesn't make sense directly, then it makes a sense in an indirect manner, in a relative manner. For example, there is a Gangayam Ghoshaha. There is a hamlet on the Ganges. There is a hamlet on the Ganges. What do you understand by Ganges? By Ganges we understand pravaha or flow of water. The moment you think of Ganges, what do you think? Flow of water. And so when you want to understand the statement Gangayam Ghoshaha, or that there is a hamlet on the Ganges, immediately your mind will try to imagine a hamlet, meaning a bunch of huts on this water, in the flow of water, flowing water. And there cannot be a hamlet on the flowing water. So then how do you understand? Still the person has said the sentence. If you want to understand it, then in your own mind you imagine that not when he says Ganga, he does not mean flow of water. He means Tira or Ganga Tira, mean a bank of the river. So that pravaha is totally replaced. That pravaha, which Ganga means directly, is totally given up. That's called jahan, jahat. Ha means to give up. So that lakshana, that method of understanding where the word that is mentioned is given up completely and replaced by another word. That pravaha, the flow, is given up completely and replaced by tira or bank. This method of understanding is called jahal lakshana. Of course, that bank must be related to Ganga, to the flow. The bank of the river is related to pravaha. So therefore, shakya sambandhini, wherever shakya sambandha is there, wherever a plausible relationship is there, then alone one word can be replaced by another word. So this method is called jahal lakshana. And there is another example for what we call ajahal lakshana, where sometimes you don't give up the word, but you add something in order to make complete the sense. It's a kakebhyo dasharakshatam. Like this mother gives instruction to this child that I am going away. This curd is spread out here, and then you look after it. Kakebhyah Dadirakshadam. May you protect this curd from crows. So the instruction is given to the child and mother goes away. She returns after half an hour and finds there is no trace of curd there at all. And this chap is sitting there with a stick. And then mother asks, what happened? I asked you to protect the curd. And I find the curd is totally gone. What happened? She says, Mom, a dog came and ate away all the curd. I told you to protect it. You said, Kake bhyodadirakshatam. You said protect it from the crow. You didn't say that you should protect it from a dog. So here, when he said Kakebhya, sounds very familiar, isn't it? So here, however, when he says Kakebhya, from the crow, that should also include all those elements or creatures which can possibly destroy this curd. So crow word, of course, should be taken as crow plus a whole class of creatures, namely dogs and cats and whatever, which can create harm or which can destroy this curd. So that is called Ajahal Lakshana, where Kakebhya is retained, plus you add these other elements in there to complete the sense. So sometimes there are different, these are the two ways of understanding. Jahal Lakshana and Ajahal Lakshana. And we always use this. This is what we commonly use now. When you now use your statements, you'll find that you're using this method commonly. And so, where a sentence does not directly make a sense, then alone this Lakshana Vritti must be employed. First is always Vachyartha. Where a sentence can make sense directly, you should not interpret it differently. No, but this is what I didn't say that. Yeah, but you meant it. How can you say I meant it? Some people see meanings in what you say, which is related. So when what we say is clear, when the words can yield meaning directly, don't try to find out indirect meanings. Only when the word does not make sense, when the sentence does not make sense. Grammatically it is okay, but does not make sense in terms of the yogyata, then alone you have to either add or subtract or change or something. That is called Lakshana Vritti. So says Prakritya, desire to know. What to know what? What sort of knowledge is it? Phalibhutam Jnanam. That knowledge, Avagati Paryantam Jnanam. That knowledge which will give you moksha, up to that point that Jignasa must be pursued. Phalibhutam means what? Avagati Paryantam. So this is the idea of the San Pratyaya. That desire must be entertained until it is fulfilled. So desire to know, that desire must be pursued until it is fulfilled. And therefore, this Jnana or desire to know, not just any knowledge, but that knowledge which is Phalibhutam, meaning that yields the phala. And that means it is Aparoksha Jnanam. And therefore, by Jnana, we should understand Phalibhut Jnanam, we should understand Phalibhutam Jnanam, Avagati Paryandam Jnanam, or the true knowledge. Otherwise, people may conduct an inquiry and may come to know something out about Vedanta and still doesn't seem to bless them, because they have not pursued it enough to make it the Aparoksha Jnanam. It is not enough that you dig this place. What do you want? I want water. I have been digging and digging. I have dug 250 feet. That's not enough. You must dig until you gain water. That's all. Yeah, but he got water in 30 feet because he is on Narmada bank. And I have been digging since 250 feet. You happen to be in Mehsana. And therefore, it's different. Somebody may get, so how much do you should dig? Depends upon where you are digging. But then, you should not give up that effort until the water comes. And similarly also, how long should you pursue this vichara? I've been doing it, Swamiji, since 2.5 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So I'll do it until Phalibhutam Jnanam, direct knowledge, which is releasing knowledge, takes place. Until then, pursue it. So by Jnana, we understand not just the Paroksha Jnana or anything, but that knowledge which is Phalibhutam Jnanam, and that is what is called Ajahal Lakshana. Jnanam word we retained, but we added what? Phalibhutam Jnanam. What is Pratyaya? San, means what? Ichha. Pratyena, Ichha. Since Ichha cannot also have Kriti Sadhyatvam, so now that Kriti Sadhyatvam is there in Jnanam. In knowledge also Kriti Sadhyatma is why? Until that you must make an effort to gain the knowledge, until that knowledge is direct or immediate. So until then knowledge also calls for activity on your part, until it is true knowledge. Now Ichcha calls for also a prayatna. In what manner? Pratyayana Ichcha Sadhya Vicharaha Jahal Lakshanaya. There, this word Jignasa is completely replaced by another word, Vicharaha. This is called Jahal Lakshana. Just as that Gho Ganga Pada was completely replaced by a Tira, Jahal Lakshana. So also in this case, the word Jignasa must be replaced by Vichara. So when it Athato Brahma Jignasa Kartavya should be understood as word Athato Brahma Vicharaha Kartavya. So then why didn't that they will discuss? Why shouldn't Sutrakara right away say Vichara? Why should he leave it to your imagination? Because Vishwato Mukham Sutra is supposed to convey so many things. Athato Brahma Jignasa. That also has a meaning. It's a statement. That Atha, when something has happened to this person, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti Anantaram, Brahma Jignasa arises. So when do you know that you are ready for Vedanta Shastra? When Brahma Jignasa is arisen. Then what should you do? Brahma Vicharaha Kartavya. So Brahma Jignasa occurs, and then Brahma Vichara. Then what should you do now that Jignasa arises in me? What should I do? Brahma Vicharaha Kartavya. Then alone instruction. When should you eat food? When you are hungry. Therefore now there is hunger. What is the sense in that? Because until hunger is there, actually you are talking about food and you are mentioning hunger. He says, yes, food becomes meaningful only when there is hunger. And so the Vedanta Shastra becomes meaningful only when there is Jignasa. Otherwise you keep on stuffing, nothing happens to the fellow. Why? I know everything, he says. There is already a glass full. You keep on pouring water on everything just goes waste. Or there is a stone on which you keep on pouring water, nothing happens there. So just because we expose ourselves to Vedantic teaching does not mean that it is working. So something has to be done about it. And so Atha is a very important word. Anyway, Brahma Vicharaha Kartavya. So when Jignasa is there, then Vicharaha Kartavya. Then alone that Jignasa can be fulfilled, otherwise cannot be fulfilled. That Vichara also will become meaningful when there is Jignasa, and Jignasa will be fulfilled when there is Vichara. That's why Sutrakara says Jignasa instead of Vichara. But he knows when Jignasa occurs, then Vichara has to take place. When desire to know is there, fellow will go anywhere. Now how am I going to know? He goes everywhere. There are people who go to this Kumbh Mela looking for gurus because there is such a desire to get the guru. They go because that was one of the reasons why Kumbh Mela was there. Thousands of sadhus are there. And people find their match, and that works. And so, but when will you find? When there is a desire. You and I go to Kumbh Mela, look at all the strange people, ridicule them, comment upon them, how dirty and ugly everything is, come away. This Ganga, I am not going to take bath there, it is so dirty. Look at these stupid sadhus, how do they look, what are they doing, what are they talking? And thus we reject everything. We go like sanitary inspectors and come back. People go to temples and come back. Look at this pujari, how he is dressed, how dirty it is. What is this? There is all noise. What for have you gone to the temple? Have you gone there as a sanitary inspector or what? But that's what we do. And so God we don't look at. We look at everything around, This is dirty here and ugly there. Oh, you must look there. That is okay. So everywhere that preparedness must be there. That's why Brahma Jignasa. And since Kartavya word cannot be in line with Jignasa, that Jignasa must be replaced by Vicharaha. So, Ratna Prabhu Tathacha Brahma Jnanaya Vicharaha Kartavya Heti Sutrasya Shrautah Artha Sampadyate. Tathacha, in that manner, Brahma Jnanaya, Brahma Jignasa. So, Jignasa involves what? Jnanam. So, Brahma Jnanaya, that the Jnana which is taken as Brahma Jnanaya. For the sake of knowledge, Jignasa is replaced by Vicharaha. So Vicharaha Kartavya. For the sake of knowledge or for the sake of releasing knowledge, one must conduct a Vichara or inquiry about Brahma. And of course, Brahma we can inquire only in Vedanta. Well, Vedanta alone has Brahma as the Vishaya, and therefore Vedanta Shastra also becomes the Vishaya for the Sutra. It is Sutra se Shrautah Artha Sampadade. What is Shrautah Artha? Shruta means as you listen to. It's not as you listen to, but in keeping with Shruti. So Shrautah Artha. What the Shruti intends will be understood by Sutra only when you understand the Sutra in this manner. Now says the Tikakara, Purnamandiya here, says Gnya avabodhane iti dhatuhu prakriti pratyah san pratyah iti viveka. That we already discussed. Gnya avabodhane, Gnya is a sense of knowledge, san pratyah is pratyah. Phalibhutam is what? Ajnana nivrittiru phalasadharatvena phalibhutam. This inquiry must be pursued until ignorance is eliminated. That is the phala. So until then, for that kind of a knowledge, you must make an inquiry. Ajahad lakshana vachyarthasya jnanasya atyagad ajahal lakshana iti bhava. So that ajahal lakshana is that jnanam is not given up, and then phalibhuta jnanam that you added. Nanu tathapi uktadosha tadavasthyam ityatah pratyena iti. So shakya sambandhin lakshana iti jnanasam ichha sadhya palam. This is vachya ichhayaha parityaga jha lakshana iti bhava. So ichhayaha parityaga. So then ichha is replaced by vicharaha. Now see that says sautra atha shabdena Vishishta adhikari bodhyate. This is how now this sutra is going to be explained. Atha, ataha, brahma jignasa, athato brahma jignasa. This sutra has three words. Atha, ataha, brahma jignasa. It says sautra, atha shabdena. So sutre bhavaha, sautraha. So atha shabda that is contained in the sutra, Vishishta adhikari bodhyate. Atha there means what? Anantaryam. Thereafter. Thereafter means when something has happened to this person in his life. Parikshalokan, karmachitan, brahmanaha, nirvedamayat. Since he is an intelligent person, therefore he does not blindly go through the experiences, but he learns from experiences. So that is why that's called pariksha. One who has properly analyzed the experiences of life. And nirvedamayat. And then there is what we call vairagya. And therefore there is what we call jignasa. Tad vijnanartham sagurumeva vigachet. Then to satisfy that jignasa or desire to know, he must go to the teacher. That whole process what is intended by atha. That pariksha is already done and he has come to the teacher. That vishishta adhikari, sadhana, chatushte sampann adhikari, that particular process is what is intended by the word atha. Tathacha sadhana chatushte sampannena adhikarina brahma jnanaya vicharaha kartavya iti sutra vakyasya shrautah arthaha. Tatha, therefore, sadhana chatushte sampannena adhikarina. By the adhikari who is sadhana chatushte sampanna, endowed with this fourfold qualifications, viveka, vairagya, etc. By him or her, brahma vicharaha kartavya. So that person must perform brahma vicharaha. Iti sutra vakyasya shrautah arthaha. This shrautah artha is vyangya artha. Not vachya artha, not the direct meaning, but vyangya artha. Suggested meaning or hinted meaning of the sutra is shrautah artha. And he said that shrautah artha, vyangya artha, binna artha, or lakshanika artha. Lakshanika artha means the artha that is arrived by lakshana vritti. मोक्षेच्छायाः अधिकार विशेषणत्वेन तद्वारा अधिकार विशेषणी भूतोयो मोक्षः तत्साधनं ब्रह्मज्ञानमिति अर्थात् सिद्ध्यते. मोक्षेच्छायाः अधिकार विशेषणत्वेन, this desire for moksha, अधिकार विशेषणत्वेन, since it cannot take place in everybody, desire for moksha can take place only in a particular adhikari who has a particular disposition of mind. As we said, Ichha automatically occurs when you have a certain disposition of mind and when there is some prompting factor. So I have a certain disposition of mind and a certain situation occurs, or somebody says something, or I see something and desire arises. So I may pass through the university and desire may arise in me. I want to study, I want to do PhD. There may be some samskara in the past of learning in the university. You pass by university, it raises those samskaras, stimulates the samskaras inside, and desire occurs. So desire will occur only when there is a certain disposition of mind. And so also Brahma Jignasa, desire to know Brahman, will not occur in everyone. It will occur in a particular person who has a given disposition of mind, which is what we call Antahkarana Shuddhi. And so Mokshechayaha Adhikari Visheshanatvena Tadvara Adhikari Visheshani Bhutoyo Moksha. And therefore, that moksha that can be accomplished by a particular adhikari. Tat sadhanam brahmajnanam. What is sadhanam, or the means for accomplishment of the desire for moksha? Brahmajnanam, the Brahman, knowledge of Brahman becomes the sadhanam, or the means for accomplishment of moksha, to fulfill the desire of Brahman, of knowledge. Iti arthat siddhyati. This is what is the meaning that automatically suggests itself. अस्तितावत् वेदांत वाक्य सान्निध्यम श्रवण विदेह विधि समानार्थकत्वेन सूत्रस्यापि तन् सान्निध्यमस्ति इत्यतः वेदांत वाक्य ही अद्वैतात्म विचारः सिद्ध्यति. अस्तितावत् वेदांत वाक्य सान्निध्यम श्रवण विदेह. आत्मावारे श्रोतव्यः इति श्रवण विधि. And Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, all these statements happen around this Shravana Vidhi. Therefore we say that they are related to Shravana Vidhi. Sannidhya is required. Asti tavat Vedanta Vakya Sannidhyam Shravana Videhe. That Shravana Atmavare Drashtavya Shrutavya is related to Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, etc. because there is Sannidhyam. Vidhi Samanasakatvena Sutrasyapi. And since the sutra also has the same meaning with the vidhi, Shrutavya, Sutrasyabhita Sannidhyam. So we say Athada Brahma Jignasa also enjoy the Sannidhyam or proximity with Vedanta Vakya. Because how will the vichara be done? You say you perform the vichara. How will I perform? Then this sutra is related to that Shrutavya. Now Shrutavya, that statement of Vedanta, it occurs in the vicinity of all these Vedanta Vakyas like Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. Therefore we say that vichara will be performed with the help of those Vakyas which are around. And since this sutra also refers to the Vakya, Shrutavya, therefore sutra also enjoys the Sannidhya of the same Vedanta Vakyas that Shrutavya enjoys. And therefore, Sutrasyapi tas Sannidhyamasti ityatah Vedanta Vakya hi Advaitatma Vicharaha Siddhyati. Therefore, by Vedanta Vakya, Advaitatma Vicharaha must be conducted. So, Athado Brahma Jignasa means Athado Brahma Vichara Kartavya. And since Kartavya goes with Shrutavya, and this Shrutavya is in the vicinity of the Vedanta Vakya, so this Jignasa also is, this Sutra also is in the vicinity of Vedanta Vakya. And therefore, that Vichara must be performed with the help of Vedanta Vakya. This is what the meaning of the sutra is. So much goes behind it. When Sutrakara writes just a couple of words, he has so many things in his mind. So what's the ultimate meaning? Tathacha sadhana chatushta sampannena adhikarina moksha sadhana brahmajnanaya vedanta vakya hi advaitatma vichara kartavya iti sutrasya tatparena pratipadya artha. So athado brahma jignasa, the sutra means this. Tathacha, in accordance to sadhana chatushta sampannena adhikarina, by the adhikari who is endowed with sadhana chatushta sampatti, moksha sadhana brahmajnana, for the knowledge of Brahman, which is the moksha sadhana means for moksha, Vedanta Vakya hi Advaitatma Vichara Kartavya. He must conduct inquiry into Atma, which is identical with Brahman, with the help of Vedanta Vakyas. That is what Sutrasya Tatparena Pratipadya Artha. This is the Artha that is actually taught to us by the Sutra. That Atha Sadhana Chatushta Sampanna Adhikarani. By him, Brahma Jignasa, Moksha Sadhana, Brahma Jnanaya, then Vicharaha Kartavya, Vedanta Vakya hi Advaitatma Vicharaha Kartavya. This is what the total meaning of the Sutra is. By the person who is endowed with the fourfold qualifications, since in that person a desire for moksha arises, a desire to know arises. Therefore, How to fulfill that desire? By vichara. So, because he wants moksha and he wants a knowledge, and the desire for knowledge can be only satisfied by knowledge. And so, moksha sadhana brahmajnana, for knowledge of Brahman, which is sadhana for moksha, so Vedanta Vakya hi Advaita Atma Vichara Kartavya hai. One must conduct an inquiry on Advaita Atma with the help of Vedanta Vakyas. Not Anatma Shastra or Purana Shastra. So this sutra refers to Vedanta Shastra, not some Puranas. It refers to Vichara and not some Karma. It is meant for a Jignasu, as an Adhikari, not for an Anadhikari. So all of these meanings are conveyed. So in the beginning the sutra, this Tikakara said, that by this sutra, that Anatma Shastra Shravanam is also dismissed, Purana Shravanam also is dismissed. The sutra does not refer to a Shastra other than Advaita Atma Shastra and does not refer to Purana, only refers to Vedanta, which is Advaita Atma Shastram. Iti Tatparyena Pratipadya. This is the artha, that is what is conveyed by the sutra. And this is what Bhashyakara is going to develop. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururasmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti. Rahugrasta Divakarendra Sadusha Maya Samachadana Sanmatra Karanopasa Omkarasya Shabdasya Dvavetau Brahmana Pura Kantham Vidva Viniryatau Tasman Mangalika Vubhau. Om Atha Om Atha Om Atha. The process that took place here is, first of all, the Ratna Prabhakara justifies the very need for sutra. The Purva-Pakshi said that we can learn from the very statements of the Upanishad what the Anubandha Chatushtaya is. The number of mantras were quoted to determine, to show how Adhikari, Vishaya, Prayojanam, all of these we can learn from Upanishad itself. What's the need for Brahma Sutra? Let us say that Brahma Sutra is needed to ascertain what the meaning of these statements is. Whether they mean what they say or they mean something else. So, Nyaya Nirnayartham Sutram. Sutra is for ascertainment the meaning of the Upanishad with the help of Nyaya, with the help of the logic and reasoning. Having done this, then further it was said what is the connection, what is Sangati that the whole Brahma Sutra has with the Shruti and with this particular Sutra has with the rest of the Grantha and the chapters and Pada and everything else. So all these Sangatis were shown. Now what we are discussing is the Adhikaranam. Now we come down to first the whole Brahma Sutra, what it does. Then what is the connection that each one has with others. Now we are coming down to this particular sutra, Athado Brahma Jignasa, which you said also forms a topic called Jignasa Adhikaranam. And every Adhikaranam has 5 elements. Vishaya, the subject matter, Vishaya or Samshaya, the doubt, Purvapaksha, Uttara, and Sangati or Samadhan or Siddhanta. So it was said here, what is the Vishaya? The whole Vedanta Shastra becomes the Vishaya of this particular sutra. Because the sutra relates to the mantra called Shrotavya. And Shrotavya has its Vishaya as a whole Vedanta Shastra. So Vedanta Shastra becomes the Vishaya of this sutra. then there is a doubt whether we should study Vedanta Shastra or not. We should study Vedanta Shastra only when the Vishaya Prayojana is there. Anubandha Chatushtayam is there. But Vishaya and Prayojanam, is there any Prayojanam in studying the Shastra? And is there a Vishaya? What is the theme that the Vedanta Shastra has to reveal? Only when this is ascertained, then alone we can proceed to study the Sutra. And the Purva Paksha says, no, Vedanta Shastra should not be studied. Why? Because you say that there is a Vishaya, Jiva Brahma Aikya, that is not possible. Why is it not possible? Our practical experience is, I am not Brahma. And everyone knows, not only I say that, everyone says that. And so there is a consistent experience of everyone that this Jiva or individual is not Brahman. And we can infer also that two entities which are possessed of totally contradictory attributes can never be one. Like fire and ice can never be one, and so also Jiva and Brahma cannot be one. Or light and darkness cannot be one, and so also Jiva and Brahma possess totally contradictory attributes. Jiva is limited in every respect, Brahma is limitless. And that is how can the limited and the limitless be one? Thus inference also shows that Jiva Brahma Aikya is not possible, and therefore there is no Vishaya that you are talking about. So we are questioning the very Vedanta now. That Vedanta is Jiva Brahma Aikya, the Vishaya is fine. But Purva Paksha says we don't accept your content. What Vedanta says itself we don't accept. So first question is, what does Vedanta say? It says Jiva Brahma Aikyam is a Vishaya. The theme of Vedanta is to reveal the identity between Jiva and Brahma. Question is, who says your Vedanta is right? Because it contradicts our practical experience as well as inference. And it is my experience also the bondage is real. I really feel bound and limited. And so real bondage cannot be eliminated by knowledge. You must do something to unbind yourself. And so knowledge cannot eliminate bondage which is real. So therefore, even Prayojanam, that by knowledge of Upanishad, that you can become free, that Prayojanam also cannot be established. So this Purva Paksha being there, Siddhanta is Athato Brahma Jignasa. So therefore, Siddhanta is given here. Now, having said this Siddhanta, another question arose. That you said that this particular sutra refers to a particular mantra, Atma Shrotavya. But that Shrotavya, that mantra, is of the nature of vidhi, an enjoinment or an instruction that Atma must be listened to. Whereas Athado Brahma Jignasa, in that statement, there is no vidhi, there is no instruction. So how do you say that this sutra refers to that particular mantra? Therefore the discussion was carried out that, in fact, the word kartavya must be added to complete the sense. Athato Brahma Jignasa Kartavya. That Brahma Jignasa must be performed. What is Jignasa? Jnatamichha Jignasa. Desire to know is called Jignasa. So Jignasa word has two elements, to know and desire. Then you say Kartavya, Brahma Jignasa Kartavya, desire to know must be done. But then you can do something which is available for doing. Neither Jnanam is available for your will, nor desire is available for will, and therefore you cannot will desire, you cannot will knowledge. I mean, even today you cannot say that I desire to have moksha. That desire must occur. And so for that desire to occur, a certain disposition of mind and certain conditions must be fulfilled. So you cannot will to have desire, nor can you will to have knowledge. Knowledge must take place. It will take place only when the means of knowledge is there. Even when the object is in front of me, if my eyes are not working, then I cannot know that. And even if Atma is right here, my very nature, if the means of knowledge, meaning my mind, is not in a proper frame or disposition, knowledge doesn't take place. And therefore, neither Jnanam nor Ichcha have Kartavyatvam. How just by adding Kartavya to Jignasa, grammatically you may have completed the sense, but it doesn't make sense. So it was explained that this Jnanam and Ichcha, both these words must be understood in a Lakshanika manner, implied sense. Jnanam by Ajahal Lakshana should be understood as Phalibhutam Jnanam. or avagati paryantam jnanam, aparoksha jnanam, knowledge. That alone will be liberating knowledge, not just any knowledge. So that knowledge which will serve the purpose is what? Phalibhutam or aparoksham jnanam. So by word jnanam, by jnanam should be understood that immediate knowledge of the identity between Jiva and Brahma. And by Ichcha should be understood what? Vichara. Because Ichcha cannot be willed, Vichara can be willed. Knowledge can take place only when Vichara is there, and therefore Atma Vichara kartavya, Brahma Vichara kartavya. This is how the sutra should be understood, and that is what Bhashyakara also says, Brahma Jignasa kartavya iti. Okay, so far we read yesterday. Even then, nanu tathapi jnanasya swatah phalatva ayogah durvarah. Now the question is that knowledge itself cannot give rise to any result. Karma can give rise to result. You want limitless happiness. We just do not understand how knowledge of Brahman can give you limitless happiness. And you want cessation of all the suffering. We do not understand how knowledge of Brahman can give you, can bring about a cessation of all the suffering. We don't understand how. Because nowhere is a knowledge known to produce any result. Knowledge merely reveals an object as it is. Knowledge never produces result. We must know. Knowledge doesn't give you anything, nor takes anything away from you, nor changes anything. You remain what you are in spite of knowledge. So all that knowledge does is, it simply reveals the nature of a thing as it is. Now you say that Brahma Vichara kartavya hai. For gaining the knowledge of Brahman, one must perform an inquiry with the help of the Upanishads. Suppose we gain the knowledge of Brahman, and then also, what purpose will it serve? Tathapi jnanasya swatah phalatva ayogah durvarah. Knowledge itself can never give rise to any result. Iti akshepe tat ayogam suchayan jnanasya phalatvam sutra tatparyah kathanam vyajana vivranoti. Then here the Tikakara says, yeah, we also say knowledge does not give rise to result directly, but knowledge becomes a means for elimination of all the anartha. How? Says Ratnaprabha, Tatra Jnanasya on the page 12. Last line, Tatra Jnanasya Swatah Phalatva Ayogat Pramatratva Kartrutva Bhoktrutvatmaka Anartha Nivartakattvena Iva Phalatvam Vaktavyam. Jnanasya. Jnanasya Phalatvam Vaktavyam. We have to accept that knowledge does give rise to phala. Very unique situation here where knowledge directly gives rise to phala. Like Soyam Devadatta, this is Krishnamurti, when we say, then those words immediately give rise to result of what? Recognizing this person or finding this person. Maybe I was looking for Krishnamurti all along and I didn't know where he is. And when someone says, this is Krishnamurti, all those words have done is to give me knowledge of Krishnamurti, all right. But then that knowledge of Krishnamurti also has eliminated a notion on my part that Krishnamurti is not here. So knowledge eliminates notions which are produced from ignorance. I did not know who Krishnamurti or where he is. And therefore, I did not recognize the Krishnamurti who was in front of me. And someone now says, this is Krishnamurti. Then I know Krishnamurti, alright. But what does it do? It also eliminates the notions that Krishnamurti is not here or Krishnamurti is lost. Thus, if the problem is a product of ignorance, then knowledge can eliminate that problem. If there is a real problem, meaning the 10th man is lost, then no amount of statement that you are the 10th man can bring him back. But if the 10th man is not lost, and if I think that the 10th man is lost, and so the whole search for the 10th man and all the grief that goes along with it is all a product of ignorance. In that particular case, when the problem is born of ignorance, then knowledge can eliminate the problem. Because knowledge eliminates ignorance and thereby eliminates the very cause of the problem. So cause of the problem is ignorance. Knowledge eliminates the cause and therefore the problem which is effect also gets eliminated. And that way knowledge in our life becomes a means for cessation of all the problems by simply eliminating notions. I also am searching for Atma myself. Just as that person is searching for the 10th man, what am I searching? Jiva dhoonde Brahma ko, kapda dhoonde soot. The cloth is searching for the cotton. Jiva is searching for Brahma. So all along my life, what am I searching for? Brahma. Limitless. I don't find it anywhere. And someone gives me this knowledge or reveals this, that you are Brahma, you are what you are searching for. Like this is Krishnamurti when it is said, you are Brahma, or you are the 10th man when it is said. Then the search for the 10th man which was brought about due to ignorance of 10th man, the need for the search also goes away when the true nature of the 10th man is known, and so search for happiness is brought about by ignorance of myself. And therefore, knowledge of my true self reveals that I don't need to search for happiness because I am happiness. I don't need to search for peace or security because I am that. And that is how all that search and all the problems that search brought about. Because search can bring about many problems, like all kinds of exertion and lot of frustration. That search for 10th man involves a lot of effort, lot of exertion, a lot of frustration, because I don't find what I am seeking. Everyone in life is frustrated, understand? Everyone. People may express it or not, or the degree of frustration may be different, but everyone is frustrated because no one finds what one is searching for. And therefore, that whole exertion, that disappointment, frustration, and all the notions and suffering that arises from ignorance will go by knowledge. So since the problem of life is a peculiar kind of a problem, is a problem born of ignorance and not a legitimate problem. In Swamiji's language, this is an illegitimate. I find myself searching, that shows that problem is somewhere else, where in ignorance, that I do not know the self, and that is what brings about all this search. Therefore, knowledge of myself, true knowledge of myself, or knowledge of myself as I am, will eliminate the very need for search and all the anartha generated from it. So, tatra jnanasya swataha phalatva ayogat. We also say that jnanam by itself does not bring about phala. Phala means the result that I am searching for. What am I looking for in life? Elimination of all unhappiness and misery. And that I am Brahman does not eliminate misery directly, but how does it eliminate? Kartrutva, pramatritva, kartrutva, bhoktrutvatmaka, anartha nivartakatvenaiva. There is anartha involved. Moment I brand myself as a pramata or a knower, or a doer, or an enjoyer, there is anartha. Because then all the responsibilities of the doer and enjoyer and experience or whatever it is, they all become mine. Moment you have any role, so role is going to have a script and all sorts of problems associated with the role. And if I know that it's a role, no problem. But if I do not know that it's a role and I really take myself to be that, then all the problems of the role become my problems. Therefore, when I take myself to a beggar, all the problems of the beggar are mine. Even if I take myself to a rich man, even problems of rich man are also mine. Don't think rich men do not have problem. Man has problem, why rich or poor? And therefore, any time when I assume any role, not assume role, when I identify with the role, there is going to be a problem. What do I at the moment take myself to be? Pramata, I am a knower. And knower has a problem because he may wind up knowing all kinds of things which he doesn't want to know. Doesn't it happen to us that we wish that I had not known certain things? In which case I would have been a much happier person. And we come to know of certain things and we become miserable. So Pramatrutva, Kartrutva, Karta means a doer, that I am an agent of action. I am the doer. And that doership brings about all kinds of sense of regret. Why? Because I wind up doing things which I should not do. It's going to happen. It's not going to be possible that all along I can be alert and always follow the values. Very often I am under the spell of emotions, and therefore all my values are thrown out of the window. Thus I find myself doing all kinds of things which I should not be doing. So that Kartrutva also has a lot of problems. All kinds of sense of guilt and regret, etc. comes. Sense of guilt comes. And Bhoktrutva definitely is problem. That I am an enjoyer, experiencer. All kinds of hurt comes. People hurt me. I experience things that I don't want to experience. And then from Bhoktrutva comes what? Hurt. Kartrutva, I do things which I do not wish to do. From Kartrutva comes what? Guilt. And so guilt and hurt and Pramatrutva also, I come to know of all kinds of things which I do not wish to know. All of these notions about myself bring about only problems, anartha. A karta can never be happy, bhokta can never be happy, a pramada can never be happy. Anyone who identifies with a given role can never be happy because that role is going to have problems. The king will have his royal problems, and therefore the one who identifies himself as the king also will have problems. And the beggar has beggarly problems because the one who calls oneself as beggar will have those problems. Swamiji says the king is sleeping or lying down in his royal bed, and this poor beggar is lying down on the footpath. Both of them looking at the stars and wondering what stars are responsible for what is happening to me right now, Because everyone has, why astrologers? Everybody goes to astrologers. You go to any astrologer, Swamiji, all ministers come to me and all rich people come to me. Eh? Why do they require you? They require them as much as we require. And that is quite alright. The idea is that there are going to be problems everywhere. Moment you identify yourself as a karta, bhokta, pramada, then definitely all the problems are yours. So that itself is anartha. Pramatritva, kartrutva, bhoktrutvatmaga anartha. Anartha or the evil of the nature of pramatritva, kartrutva, bhoktrutva. Nivartakatvenaiva. All that knowledge does is simply eliminates this pramatritva, kartrutva, bhoktrutva. That knower is a role I am performing. I am not the knower. Doer is a role I am performing. I am not the doer. Enjoyer is also a role. I am not the enjoyer. Then enjoyership becomes enjoyable. If you are the enjoyer, then enjoyership is not enjoyable. If enjoyership is a role, then you can enjoy it for what it is. And doership is a role, then you can enjoy it for what it is. A role is always enjoyable. Even the richest actor can very effectively act as a beggar because he knows it's a role. And then he can effectively do it, he can enjoy it. Or a poor man can enjoy the role of playing the role of a king. He knows it's a role. So role is always enjoyable. It's a sport or play. That's why Lord Krishna is always shown as playing and sporting, because that is how it is. And therefore the very knowledge which reveals the self, which is free from kartrutva, bhoktrutva, pramatrutva, that very knowledge relieves me. Hey, thank you very much. Thank God that I don't have to worry about it now. So far I thought it was my problem, I was worried about it. Somebody says, Swami, you need not worry. We'll take care. Thank God, the big burden is off. So all the burden that the pramatrutva, kartrutva, they are only representative. Pita, mata, all kinds of things add up in them. The karta assumes so many other forms, bhokta assumes so many other forms, pramada assumes so many other forms. Then each one of them only piles up the problem. And therefore, by knowledge of the self, by revealing myself as free from all these roles, releases me from all the problems associated with that. And that's how anartha nivartakatvenaiva phalatvam vaktavyam. It does not achieve anything for me. But what does it do? Just as when darkness goes away, all the difficulties caused by darkness. When I do not know the road in the dark, I keep on, falling down here and there. When the light comes, I no more fall down. What has light achieved? Only eliminated darkness. But by eliminating darkness, he has also eliminated all fear. And eliminated also all kinds of problems darkness generated, because I was falling off into the ditches and everything. So anartha nivartakatvainaiva jnanasya phalatvam uktavyam. That knowledge gives rise to phala by elimination of anartha. अथ शब्दोपात्त अधिकार विशेषणीभूत अनर्थ निवृत्ति रूप मोक्ष फलत्वेन संबध्यते यथा स्वर्ग कामो यजेत इत्यत्र अधिकार विशेषणीभूत स्वर्ग फलत्वेन संबध्यते तद्वत्. What happens is स्वर्ग कामो यजेत, the one who is desirous of heavens must perform this yaga. When you say that the one who is adhikari for performance of the yaga, he is connected with Swarga by way of Phala. Swarga Phalatvene Sambadhyate. That way statement, Swarga Kamo Yajeta, the one who is desirous of heavens should perform this yaga. That person who performs the yaga is connected with Swarga as a Phala. So also Athato Brahma Jignasa. That very Adhikari, Atha reveals what? Adhikari. And the Adhikari automatically gets connected with what? That Phalam, which is Brahma Jnanam and Moksha. So very mention of Adhikari connects him with the Phala. Swarga Kama, desire, one who is desirous of heavens, just as is connected with heavens by that very statement. By the very statement, Athado Brahma Jignasa, Sutrakara connects Adhikari with the Phalam. अतः फलीभूत मोक्ष साधनत्वेन ब्रह्मज्ञानस्य फलत्वं युज्यते इति ज्ञान विचारः युक्तः इति भावः. And therefore, since Brahmajnanam brings about the phala in the form of moksha, therefore one should perform the vichara in order to gain this knowledge. It is vichara yukta iti bhavaha. How? Hetu ukti dvara anartha nivartakatvam upapadayati. How do you say that the knowledge is able to eliminate the anartha? Those who don't have books and those who don't know Sanskrit need not worry at all. You just listen to English, that should be enough also. Those who only Ratnaprabha need not worry about the Tika. And those who Tika may wish to look, but don't waste too much of your time. You'll find when you go home, you'll find all kinds of things inside. Otherwise you'll miss things, So, need not worry about Sanskrit, because English has everything in it. And need not worry about Brahma Sutra, because our talk has everything in it. And so, you will be able to get everything, provided you pay attention and don't get frustrated. I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know Brahma Sutra, you need not know anything. Because that task is to be performed by the teacher. However, you have to pay attention. And we would also expect, and it would help, if you make a few notes here and there, review what is done in the class, so that you come prepared in the class. In that case, this study certainly will become very effective, very helpful. So, Hetu Ukti Dwara. Now the Ratna Prabhakara tells us what is the Hetu. Why do you say that knowledge brings about the Phala in the nature of moksha? How can knowledge bring about that Phala? So, how Jnana becomes the Anartha Nivartakam, that Ratna Prabha says, Tatra Anarthasya Satyatve Jnanamatrat Nivritti Ayogat Adhyastatvam Vaktavyam Iti Bandhasya Adhyastatvam Arthat Suchitam. You see the brilliance of thinking here, how it proceeds. Tatra Anarthasya Satyatve. Now, we are only studying the sutra. Sutrakara has already connected the adhikari with moksha. By the very state, just as Swarga Kamo Yajeta connects the performed yaga with Swarga, Athato Brahma Jignasa or Athato Brahma Vichara Kartavya, that connects the adhikari with the phala called moksha. How can it connect? Tatra anarthasya satyatve. If anartha or the suffering in the life were real, let us say legitimate suffering, I think appears real. Had it been legitimate, if the suffering or the problem in life of mortality, that I am mortal, that I am ignorant, that I am limited. This is our problem. That I am limited entity, limited in time, place and condition, that I am a mortal being, I am ignorant, I am insufficient, inadequate, incomplete. So if this problem of inadequacy or incompleteness were a real problem, meaning if Atma were incomplete or inadequate by nature, then certainly knowledge of Atma will reveal an Atma who is an incomplete being. So knowledge of such an Atma who is incomplete is not going to eliminate incompleteness. Now the Sutrakara connects the Adhikari with the moksha. So we are asking, that means Sutrakara quietly suggests that Jnanam itself, because Brahma Vichara will only give rise to Brahma Jnanam, and if Brahma Jnanam, then that alone should bring about the Prayojanam. So if Brahma Jnanam brings about the Prayojanam of moksha, it cannot be unless that problem is illegitimate. If knowledge can bring about elimination of all the suffering, that can only be if the suffering is born of ignorance. Because knowledge can only eliminate ignorance. Light can only eliminate darkness. If you find so many things now which you thought were missing, then it is not that the light has produced them, it is that they were there, but you did not know that they were there. So ignorance essentially creates the same effect as though we do not have a given thing. So there may be a lot of things in a particular room, but there is such utter darkness there that you cannot see anything there. And so you think that this room does not have anything, and you are searching for certain things. Then light comes, and those things which were there alone are revealed. Light only reveals what is there, does not create anything. However, it also eliminates the notion that these things were lost, and the effect is as though these things were obtained. When they said, you are the 10th man, it is as though the 10th man is gained. Brahmavit apnoti param. The knower of Brahma attains limitless. How can knowledge of Brahma bring about limitless attainment of limitlessness? And that is how Shankaracharya says that limitlessness, which I thought was not me, is revealed to be my nature. And that is why, like the key bunch, which was all the time in my pocket, and I thought that it was misplaced. And then all of a sudden I realized it is in my pocket. So I got it. You didn't get it, it was always there. But still I say, hey, I got it. And when I say I got it, I have the same kind of an experience as though I had gotten a lost key bunch. When I say I got it, I mean it. Because if the key bunch was lost, and if I gained it, how much joy would I have? The same kind of joy is created in me by discovering that the key bunch was with me. And so that knowledge or discovery brings about the same effect as though the thing is obtained, when that thing was already there but not known to be there. And so also, if knowledge can bring about cessation of all the suffering in life, it can only be if the suffering is illegitimate or suffering is not real. So anarthasya satyatve. If anartha or unhappiness or suffering were real satyatve, jnanamatrat nivritya yogat, then I will discover an Atma who is suffering. So the Atma really is suffering, then my knowledge of Atma will reveal what? A suffering Atma. If Atma really were a limited entity, knowledge of Atma will reveal what? A limited Atma. Atma is karta, bhokta, sukhi, dukhi. So what did I get by that knowledge? Nothing. I may have the satisfaction of having known a given thing, but then it does not accomplish purpose of elimination of suffering. And here it is said that knowledge of Atma, tarati shokam atmavit, that atmavit shokam tarati, knower of Atma crosses the ocean of grief. How is it possible? Only when the Atma is free from grief. And I take it to be grieving, ashochan, anvashotastvam. So adhyastatvam vaktavyam. Then, if Atma is free from suffering, and still I find myself suffering, that shows that suffering is an error. It is what we call a superimposition or adhyasa. So Atma is free from suffering, and still I take it to be a suffering Atma. That shows that suffering is not real. Bandhasya anarthasya adhyastatvam vaktavyam. We have to accept that anartha. Anartha means all the evils in life are adhyastatvam, meaning what? All of them are superimposed and not real, illegitimate suffering. Possible that I am committing an error of taking one thing to be something else. Atasmin tad buddhi. And so taking the rope to be a snake, that causes a lot of fear in me. That fear is illegitimate. Because there is no cause for fear. And still there is fear, that shows that I am committing a mistake of taking the rope to be a snake. And therefore that fear goes away by the knowledge of rope. If the snake were real, then knowledge of that object would reveal a snake. That's not going to eliminate fear. But here, the knowledge of that object reveals a rope, and that is how eliminates the fear that was brought about by an error or adhyasa. So, bandhasya adhyastatvam arthat suchitam. Sutrakara doesn't say directly, but arthat suchitam, sutrakara. So, sutrakar indirectly suggests, or it amounts to saying, when Sutrakara says that knowledge of Brahman gives rise to moksha, it amounts to saying that bandhanam is adhyastam and not real. Sutrakrita arthat suchitam. Everything he did not say, otherwise he will have to write bhashya himself. But when you contemplate upon that, then you realize, why does Sutrakara say this? That merely Brahma Jignasa kartavya, a Brahma Vichara kartavya. By that what can we achieve? By knowledge of Brahman. Then if he says that all you have to do is Brahma Vichara, that's all he tells us to do. He doesn't say, there is no further instruction anywhere in Brahma Sutra. Or nowhere in Vedanta there is any instruction other than Atma Vare Drashtavya, Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhyasravya. That shows that instruction should fulfill whatever we are seeking. And Shrotavya or Vicharitavya is what? It will only give me knowledge. And if knowledge can eliminate a problem, that shows that problem is born of ignorance. And ignorance brings about what we call an error. The problem with ignorance here is that it brings about an error. That I do not know who I am, and I take myself to be different from what I am. I do not know who the 10th man is, and I take the 10th man to be lost. I do not know what this object is, I take that object to be a snake, whereas really it is a rope. This is called adhyasa. So hetu, what is the hetu? Hetu for anartha is what? Ignorance, adhyasa. Adhyasa means superimposition of error. Error is always born of ignorance. Because otherwise it will not be error. Error cannot be born of knowledge. Error is always born of ignorance. What does knowledge do? Eliminate ignorance. And thereby also eliminate the error born of ignorance. And that error brings about all kinds of problems. Taking that rope to be a snake creates all kinds of problems such as fear, etc. All of them go away by knowing that object to be rope. So bandhasya adhyastatvam arthat suchitam. Says this Purnananda, adhyastatvam mithyatvam. Adhyastatvam mithyatvam, that bandha is unreal, mithya. Nanu, somebody says, bandhasya satyatvam vastu mastu jnanamatra nivritti iti chet. Somebody says here, we want to say that the bondage, by bondage we mean the unhappiness or suffering in life. That bondage is real. And we say that it cannot be eliminated by knowledge. It says, no. Shruti Sutra Vidvat Anubhavanam Virodhat. If you insist that bondage is real, and that bondage cannot be eliminated by knowledge, then you are contradicting Shruti. Tarati Shokam Atmavid. Sayo Havai Brahmaveda Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who knows Brahman becomes Brahma. Brahmavid Apnodi Param. The knower of Brahma attains limitless. The knower of Atma crosses the ocean of grief. Then you are contradicting what the Shruti says if you insist that knowledge does not give rise to moksha. Sutra also says, अथातो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा अथातो ब्रह्म विचारः कर्तव्यः. Thereby suggests that it is vichara which is means for moksha by generating knowledge, by eliminating ignorance, and by eliminating all the anarthas brought about by ignorance. So you will contradict Sutrakar also. And Vidvat Anubhava, Vidwan also says Aham Brahma. So we know Vidvat that they don't seem to have anything with them and still they are happy. So Atmaneva Atmana Tushtaha, that Vidvat Anubhava also experience with the wise also will be contradicted if you insist that bondage is real and cannot be eliminated by knowledge. Tasmat tat ajnanistha tad ajnana nishtha anartha nivartakatvena bandhasya adhyastatvam siddhamiti bhavaha. And therefore that bondage which is located or has a locus only in ignorance, that by elimination of ignorance the bondage also gets eliminated. Okay, I think that's all easy. Then somebody says just because, okay, then Tika says Taccha Shastrasya Vishaya Prayojanavatva Siddhi Hetuhu. Said Bandhasya Adhyastatvam Arthat Suchitam. The Sutrakara suggests, or there is an implication there, that actually bondage is only mithya. And by revealing the mithyatva of the bandha, automatically Vishaya and Prayojana also established. Taccha adhyastatvam shastrasya Vishaya Prayojanavatva siddhi hetuhu. That adhyastatvam, that bondage is adhyasta, is mithya, is illegitimate, that establishes Vishaya and Prayojana of Shastra. Nanu katham pratignya matrina artha siddhi. So when you make a statement, you must establish that, You say, well, because the bondage is adhyasta or mithya, therefore Vishaya and Prayojana of the Shastra are already established. How? Then the Tikakara Ratnabrahma explains. Tathahi Shastram Arabdhavyam Vishaya Prayojanavatvat Bhojanadivat. First of all, Tathahi to illustrate. Shastram Arabdhavyam. Sometimes he does that exercise for us. He need not do that, which Tikakara, Bhashyakara may not do. But Tikakara he does, So to illustrate. Shastram Arabdhavyam. So Arabdhavyam means it must be commenced or begun or studied. That Shastra must be studied. By Shastra we mean Upanishad and therefore we mean Brahma Sutra also. Vishaya Prayojanavatvat. Because Shastra has Vishaya as well as Prayojanam. What is Vishaya? Jiva Brahma Aikya. What is Prayojanam? Moksha. See, Vishaya and Prayojana are there, therefore Shastra must be studied. Then how? Bhojanadivat. Like Bhojanam, like food must be eaten. Bhojanasya annadhi vishaya Shuddhnivrittihi Prayojanam iti vivekaha. Bhojana has both Vishaya and Prayojanam. When somebody asks us to eat, there must be something to eat, Otherwise that instruction will be meaningless. So Bhojanam is Vishaya. Bhojanam is an act. It is Vishaya, something to act upon, namely food. And it serves a purpose. What is the purpose that is served? Shuddhnivrittihi, elimination of hunger, appeasing of hunger. So just as eating food has both Vishaya, food, and purpose, appeasing the hunger, and so also the Shastra must be studied because it has both Vishaya and purpose. You say anything that has Vishaya and Prayojana is worthwhile doing. That's the idea. If one of them is missing, then the Arambha will not take place. If there is no Kshuddha, then you cannot make a person eat because that Prayojanam is not there. And Kshuddha is there, but food is not there. Then also you cannot make the person eat because what will he eat? So Vishaya, wherever Vishaya and Prayojana are there, then that is worth doing. That's the idea. The food should be eaten. Why? Because food is there and hunger also is there. And so also Shastram Arabdhavyam. That the Shastra must be studied. Upanishad or Brahma Sutra must be studied. Why? Because Vishaya Prayojanavattvat. Because Shastra has Vishaya as well as Prayojana. How do you say that? Shastram has Prayojanam. Says further. First inference. Then how do you say that it has Vishaya and Prayojana? First the Prayojana is established. Shastram Prayojanavata. Bandha Nivartaka Jnana Hetutvat Rajjuhuyam Ityadi Vakyavat. Once we accepted that Bandha is Mithya or Adhyasta, then certainly knowledge will eliminate that. If Bandha were real, certainly knowledge cannot eliminate. But since the bondage is born of ignorance, therefore knowledge will eliminate bondage. How? Knowledge will eliminate ignorance, and by that eliminates the very cause for bondage. When the cause goes, the effect cannot remain. So this suffering is an effect. We are trying to remove the effect, leaving the cause intact. That's the reason why suffering goes away now and then, but comes back. So you keep on mowing the lawn, all right, but as long as the seeds are inside under the ground, the grass, the weeds keep on coming. And so also in our life, the attempts are like that. All the time we want happiness, want to eliminate unhappiness, but the very seed, namely ignorance, remains in there, and therefore we cannot totally or once and for all eliminate the unhappiness. So Vedanta seeks to eliminate the cause in order to eliminate the effect. Only intelligent Shastra this is. Everybody works with effect. Yoga Shastra also works with effect. My body is not in control, let me control it. Mind is restless, I will make it steady. But why is the mind restless? The poor mind has some problem. Ask the mind, what is your problem? Eliminate the problem, then mind will be at rest. Eliminate that. Keeping that problem intact, you take the mind and then, make it steady. Well, okay, it may become steady for a while as long as you force the steadiness. Again it becomes restless. So, always look at the cause. So here, what is it that brings about suffering? Only ignorance brings about suffering. Ignorance brings about an error of taking myself to be a limited being, and that brings about suffering, and therefore knowledge eliminates the bondage. Bandha nivartaka jnana hetutvat. So, Shastra is also what? Again, Shastra is not knowledge. Shastra is a means of knowledge. Shastra is what? Pramanam. When does it become pramanam? When we perform vichara. And therefore, Shastram prayojanavat. Since we are interested in becoming free from suffering, that's all we are in. We are not interested in Shastra really. What is the man interested in? Only in becoming happy. By eliminating unhappiness. But now it is established that unhappiness is a product of ignorance. So how will unhappiness go? When ignorance goes. How will ignorance go? When knowledge comes. How will knowledge come? When we study the scriptures. But how do we study? When we perform vichara upon the scriptures. Therefore Shastram prayojanavat. Bandha nivartaka jnana hetutvat. Since Shastram meaning Shastra vichara is the hetu or the cause for the knowledge which eliminates the bondage. Rajjuhuyam ityadi vakyavat. Just as when I committed the error of taking a rope to be a snake, Rajjuhuyam, this is a rope. How that very vakya? That vakya brings about knowledge of that object. That eliminates the notion of snake. And that eliminates all the suffering, that is bhaya, etc., born of the vision of a snake. Then second, bandha jnana nivartyah adhyastatvat rajju sarvat iti prayojana siddhi. Vishaya and prayojanam. This prayojan right now we are discussing. Bandha jnana nivartyah. Shastram prayojanavat. Bandha nivartaka jnana hetutvat. Now, bandha jnana nivartyah. Jnana nivartyah means that which can be eliminated by jnanam. Whose nivaranam can be done. Nivaranam or elimination can be done is what? Nivartya. Jnana nivartya, jnanena nivartyah. That which can be eliminated by jnanam. Bandha jnana nivartyah. The bondage is that which can be eliminated by knowledge. Why? Adhyastatvat. Because it is adhyasta, because it is a superimposition. It is mithya. It is illegitimate and not legitimate. Rajju sarvavat iti. Like a Rajju sarpa, like a snake superimposed upon the rope is Jnana Nivartya. The Rajju sarpa Jnana Nivartya. You know? That snake superimposed upon the rope is that which can be destroyed by knowledge. Can you ever eliminate a snake by knowledge? No. Had it been a real snake, the knowledge of snake cannot eliminate that. But this snake can be eliminated by knowledge because it is mithya or it is an error. It is a kalpana. So just as Rajju Sarpa being an adhyasa, kalpana, is subject to being eliminated by knowledge of Rajju, and so also this whole bondage in our life is being a kalpana, is subject to being eliminated by the knowledge of Atma. This is Vedanta. And this much is Vedanta. Is what? Bondage is unreal. Suffering, mithya. Ashochan, anvashojastvam. So that's how Bhagavad Gita starts. This is Mahashuchaha. Because how long? You keep on repeating this. Even if you repeat this, one day it will work. Because how long can that snake, which is not a real snake, how long will it remain? If you are determined, and if you are determined to, to expose its falsehood, then today or tomorrow it will be exposed. A false thing will be exposed as false if you are determined. If you are determined to hang on to it, well, it will remain. Ashwatham prahu avyayam. Ashwatha will remain avyaya. The samsara vriksha or tree of samsara is avyaya, is imperishable if you give reality to that. Do not give reality to suffering in life. That's how Vedanta starts. Then alone become adhikari. We do not become adhikari for the Shastra. Because as long as you give reality to suffering, there is always enough suffering everywhere. And so mind can never be at rest. Who doesn't have suffering? If there is no suffering, I am quite capable of creating one. And so that's what creativity the Lord has given me. And therefore nobody is free from suffering. No ignorant person can be free from suffering because we can create our own suffering. It's a matter of degree, it's a matter of type, it's a matter of, whether people know about it or not. But it is always there. So, bandha jnanivartya adhyastatvat. That bondage is something that can be destroyed by knowledge because it is mithya. Rajju sarva, just as Rajju sarpa can be eliminated simply by knowledge. Rajju iyamiti, that this is rope. Says Rajju Vishayaka Ajnana Rupa Karana Sahita Sarpa Jnana Janita Bhaykampada Rupa Anartha. Rajju Vishayaka Ajnana Rupa Karana Sahita Sarpa Jnana Janita Bhaykampada Rupa. So ignorance of the nature of Rajju, which brings about the notion of Sarpa, which further Sarpa Jnana Janita, that knowledge of Sarpa brought about what? Bhayakampari, fear and all kinds of, what shall we say, kampa. I start shivering. And there is fear. Fear and shivering depends on what sort of thing I think about snakes. If I am really afraid of snake, the very idea of snake can bring about shivering. If I see the snake, I'll scream. So all that screaming and the shivering and the fear that was brought about by the knowledge of snake, that is called bandha. That is called anartha. Tasya nivartakam jnanam nayam sarpaha kintu rajjuhuyam. This is not a snake, this is rajju. That knowledge, how it eliminates all the fear and everything born of a snake, because that snake itself is mithya and fear brought about from it also is mithya. And that knowledge alone can eliminate. That's another thing. There's no other way. When that snake is mithya, no other effort will eliminate that snake. Also, one should know that. You keep on chanting mantra, doing upasanas, regardless of what you do, that illegitimate or false snake will not go. Had the snake been real, a snake charmer can bring it, can do something with it. Had the snake been real, some mantras also can make the snake go. This snake will not go by any mantras or tantra or anything. Why? Because it is unreal. It will only go by knowledge. Why do the Vedantins insist that jnana devatu kaivalyam? If the problem is real, then knowledge cannot help. Since problem is false, therefore knowledge can eliminate the false problem. So, kintu rajjuhu eva, well, this only rajju it is, It is Vishesha Darshanatmakam Yajnanam. Samanya Darshanam is there. Iyam, Ayam. Something is there. Vishesha Darshanatmakam. That this is Rajju. So, it is Vishesha Darshanatmakam Yajnanam. Tad Hetutvam Vartadeti Drishtante Hetu Samanvaya. In Drishtanta also, Hetu Samanvaya. How? The Sarpa goes away by knowledge. So also bondage goes away by knowledge. ज्ञाने बंध निवर्तकत्व रूप विशेषम कथमित आकांक्षायाम पूर्वोक्तम अनुमानं साधयति बंध. That already read. बंधस्य ज्ञान निवर्तकत्वे साधित ही ज्ञानमर्थात् बंध निवर्तकम भवति तथा च बंध निवर्तकत्व अध्यस्तत्वयोः ज्ञप्तौ कार्य कारण भावः न स्वरूपे इति भावः. And therefore बंध निवर्तकत्व अध्यस्तत्व. So adhyasa is that knowledge becomes the karya karana bhava. Knowledge becomes the cause for elimination of ignorance, which becomes the cause for elimination of bondage. Thus prayojanam is established. Understand how we establish a prayojanam. What is the prayojanam? Moksha. What is moksha? Bandha nivrutti. The word moksha itself suggests something. Much means to release. Moksha means liberation. Liberation means because you are bound. So what is moksha? Bandha nivrutti. The word moksha itself suggests there is nothing to be achieved, there is something to be removed. Much dhatu means what? To release, to liberate. Moksha means liberation or release. Where is the question of liberation? Where there is bondage. So all that moksha means is what? Bandha nivrutti. Word moksha means bandha nivrutti, elimination of bondage. Moksha cannot mean achievement of something. So, moksha, why? The very derivation it means what? Bondage, elimination of bondage. We said elimination of bondage can be brought about by knowledge because the bondage is born of ignorance. And that is how, and since Shastra is a means for that knowledge, therefore Shastra must be studied so that we gain the Yathartha Jnanam, so that the bondage born of ignorance is eliminated. So prayojanam, the purpose of study of the scripture is moksha, elimination of bondage. So this is called prayojana siddhi. Why first prayojana siddhi? Because then alone we will think further. Even what the Vishaya is, what this fellow has to say will come later. What am I going to get by it? So before we undertake any activity, we first always ascertain what is the prayojanam, what is the purpose that I am going to achieve by this activity. Then next we will ask, okay, what is he talking about? He says, you will get moksha. Then we take further interest. What is he talking about? He is talking about agriculture, farming. Forget it. Then Vishaya does not interest me, then I may not proceed. But then, first I will even ask further question when the prayojanam is established. Even though Vishaya comes before prayojanam. But then, as far as the person is concerned, prayojanam comes before Vishaya. Therefore, first prayojana siddhi, that elimination of bondage is the prayojanam, the purpose that the Shastra serves. Then now, Vishaya siddhi. What is the Vishaya? See, adhyastatvam brought about prayojana siddhi. That bondage is mithya, that enabled us to do the prayojana siddhi, that knowledge can eliminate bondage, because bondage is adhyastam. That very adhyastatvam will bring about Vishaya siddhi also. How? That is what will be shown. न केवलम अध्यस्तत्वमेव अर्थात तत्सूत्रितम किंतु विषय प्रयोजन द्वयमपि एवमिति. एंड सो सेज टीकाकार रत्नप्रभा एवं अर्थात ब्रह्म ज्ञानात् जीवगत अनर्थ भ्रम निवृत्तिम फलम सूत्रयन् जीव ब्रह्मणो ऐक्यम विषयमपि अर्थात सूचयति अन्य ज्ञानात् अन्यत्र भ्रम अनिवृत्तेः. हाउ ब्यूटिफुल. सेज एवं, in this manner. Evam means what? Uktena prakarena. As we said earlier, that this is all born of adhyasa. Brahma jnanat jivagata anartha brahmanivrittim phalam sutrayan. So, the direct meaning of the sutra is what? Brahma jnanat jivagata anartha brahmanivritti. Athato Brahma jignasa directly suggests what? Brahma vichara. Directly suggests what? Jnanam. Directly suggests what? Jnanam is the hetu for liberation. How is it possible? Only when liberation is born of ignorance. Therefore, This is what the sutra directly says. And indirectly suggests the Vishaya. So directly says, to him it is direct, to us it is not direct, but anyway, to Bhashyakara it is direct. Arthat means, this is what naturally follows. Brahmajnana, the Jivagata, Anartha Brahma Nivrittim Phalam Sutren. So Sutrakara, in fact, directly suggests or writes, mentions by the Sutra that there is a phala of Anartha Nivritti, which is Brahma. Kartrutva, Bhoktrutva, Pramatrutva, that itself is Brahma, that brings about all the Anartha. By elimination of this Brahma, there is Anartha Nivritti. And by what knowledge? By knowing that Pramatrutva itself is false. And how do I know? By knowing that what I take to be Pramada is in fact Brahma. What I take to be Pramada or Karta or Bhokta is in fact Brahma. So Brahma Jnana, by the knowledge of Brahman, that Pramata, Karta, Bhokta is in fact Brahman. Jivagata, then Jiva no more remains. And there were Anartha all located in Jiva, all of them get eliminated. Anarthas are all located where? Jivagata. Natu Brahmagatam. Brahma doesn't have any Anartha at all. There is no suffering there. Because Brahman is complete, limitless. That who is suffering? Jiva is suffering. When that Jiva is known to be Brahman, all the Jivagata suffering also goes away. So Brahmajnanat Jivagata Anartha Brahmanivrittim Phalam Sutren Jiva Brahmanoho Aikyam Vishamapi Arthat Suchayati. How is it possible that by knowing Brahma, that Jivagata Anartha goes away? Anartha or suffering, which is all with Jiva, how can the suffering of Jiva go away? By knowledge of Brahman. By knowing cloth, the problem pertaining to the pot doesn't go. If I know Devadatta, the problem of Yajnadatta doesn't go. Meaning, knowledge of one thing cannot eliminate the problem associated with something else. Here it is said, Brahma Jignasa, that is Atma Jignasa also. So what is Brahman? Atma everybody knows. Brahman we do not know. That's why Shastra has to reveal that. So it is suggested that by knowledge of Brahman, all the anarthas associated with this Jiva goes away. How is it possible? How is it possible knowing one that anartha of the other can go away? It can only be if what is taken to be one is another also. Only possible if Jiva is Brahman. Otherwise, by knowledge of Jiva, how can the suffering of Brahman, the knowledge of Brahman, how can suffering of Jiva go away? It can only go away if Jiva and Brahman are one. So, therefore, Jiva Brahmanoho Aikyam Vishayamapi Arthat Suchayati. Sutrakara. So, Sutrakara also suggests, as a matter of course, that Jiva and Brahma must be one alone. Anya Jnanat Anyatra Brahma Anivrittehe. By the knowledge of cloth, the Brahma pertaining to the rope doesn't go away. By knowledge of rope alone, the Brahma or the error committed about rope goes away. And so also, by knowledge of Brahman, if the error committed pertaining to Jiva go away, that only means that Jiva is Brahman. That's what Sutrakara suggests as a matter of course. Arthat, Anya Jnanat Anyatra Brahma Anivrittehe. And that is how Bhashyakara saw Adhyasa in that. In the first sutra, Bhashyakara saw Adhyasa. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. That this whole thing does not make sense unless bondage is illegitimate. Says the Puran Arthaditi, Yat Adhyastam Tad Jnanamatra Nivartyamiti Vyapti Vishayaka Anumana Pramana Balat. Yat Adhyastam Tad Jnanamatra Nivartyam. Whatever is superimposed can be eliminated by knowledge. Anything that is superimposed, eliminating that's a problem of, born of ignorance, will be eliminated by knowledge. Ishvara hi ajnane satyapi jivagata eva anartha ityaha. Ishvara hi ajnane satyapi jivagata eva anartha. Even though knowledge pertains to knowledge, ignorance is pertaining to Lord, the anartha is for the jiva. So, jivagata anartha brahma nivrittim. Jivagata anartha rupayo brahma karana sahita kartatvadi bandha tad nivritti rupam phalam ityartha. That kartrutva, bhoktrutva, pramatrutva, which all belongs to jiva, that alone is the source of all the anartha. Elimination of that anartha of jiva, which is brought about by the notion that I am a pramata, karta, bhokta, that gets eliminated by knowledge of Jiva, knowledge that Jiva is not Pramata, not Karta, not Bhokta. Akartaham, Abhoktaham, Apramadaham iti. And that is how Arthad Jiva